Hi, welcome back to my channel. I know I've been gone for a very long time. A lot of reasons why I've been gone for so long. Most of it is loss of motivation. Another reason is I can't really wear makeup on well, I used to not be able to wear makeup on a day-to-day basis because of my job. I used to work at Home Depot, which is essentially a very poorly air-conditioned steel building, and in Colorado it has been 105 degrees consistently here. So I mean, for the most part I couldn't wear makeup to work. So the only time that I would ever play in makeup was literally just to play. Like if I had, you know, a couple hours that I wanted to sit and, you know, just play around in what I had, and then I would wear it for all of 20 minutes and then I'd have to take it off and go to bed or something. But I just recently got a different job in a grocery store, which is very, very, very well air conditioned. So it's pretty nice. I still sweat, but not near as much as I used to. So I've actually been able to start wearing makeup to work. Like a full face of like foundation, everything. Because when I worked at Home Depot, the only thing that I would wear was highlighter and lipstick, and I would still sweat that off. Anyway, so this video is going to be an introduction to my Project Pan. That is, ever since I've been able to wear makeup on a daily basis now, it is something that I have definitely wanted to try, and a lot of it, I guess quick shout outs. I wanted to give a shout out and a thank you to Kat and Haley from Beauty News. If you don't watch their channel, I highly recommend it. They're two wonderful Australian ladies that do Beauty News 3 times a week. They also do the Makeup Breakup, and they also have their own channels where they are themselves project panners. And the person who really motivated me to start my channel back up again was Amber F. Her entire channel is dedicated to Project Pan, basically, and she's the one who started Pan That Palette. So I've been watching a lot of her videos, and she inspired me to finally record my progress on my products that I want to pan. You know, my Instagram is dedicated to makeup, but I definitely wanted to record because I do enjoy this. I enjoy editing video. I'm a little awkward on camera, but you know, it'll get better. Anyway, so I guess I want to jump right into this. I watched a tips and tricks video and suggestions, like if you're a first-time project panner, on Amber's channel, and she said to definitely start small. So I have picked some of the smallest products out of my collection that I could find, and some of them are so small it's actually hilarious. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So the first thing that really made me want to start project panning was actually this compact right here. I took this from my mom. She got it from some place at the mall for very, very cheap. On the back it says that this was $3.99. So it is by Sharamoya Max Makeup, and it's called Chiseled. It is basically a 4-pan palette. It has like 2 highlighting powders and 2 bronzing powders in it. So this powder here is more of a banana powder, not this one, this one. And I have repressed it, and I've got just a small little rim of it left. I use it as like an under eye setting powder. And then once that one's done, I'm going to move on to this pink one. My mom had actually already hit pan on 3 of these before I took it. The only one she didn't hit pan on was this darker one. The thing with this though is all 4 of these powders are shimmery. So I know it's not suggested, let's say, to set your concealer with a shimmery powder, but I do, to try and get through this. I can't use the under eye setting powders and the bronzers on my face at the same time, because otherwise my face looks like the highlighter challenge. Like, it is just way too shimmery. So what I've been doing is using this as an under eye setting powder, and then I set the rest of my face with a matte setting powder, and I kind of go over you know, the powder that I've put down to set my concealer. And it works pretty okay because I mainly just put it under my eyes and in my T-zone, so it doesn't really look that bad with it being shimmery. It's not super shimmery, but it's shimmery. Like if I use all of these, you can tell. So I think within probably 2 or 3 more applications, this one will be done. And then I'm going to put my focus on this one. So once I've used up both of these under eye setting powders, I'm going to change to a different setting powder, obviously, because I'm out of it. But the point I'm trying to make is once I start focusing on these bronzers, which are shimmery, and I hate shimmery bronzers, but I'm going to do the same thing where I'll put this on my face and go over it with like a mattifying powder. I will stop using the other bronzer that I'm going to show in a little bit because I'll be focusing on these. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups. The other bronzer that I had just mentioned, and this is also really funny. So I got this little guy on clearance from Walmart after Christmas for 50 cents. This was originally like a $1 stocking stuffer, and it is the cheapest packaging. Like, it's so crap, but it doesn't matter because I don't mind. But it's got this teeny tiny little pan of bronzer in it, and this is a blush, and so I want to pan both of these. I know from Kat's channel that so Kat from Beauty News, she had spent an entire year trying to pan a Rimmel blush, and it took her literally an entire year to do it. So this one though is not very pigmented at all. I mean, you can really pack this on and you can't even tell that you're wearing blush still. Like, I've got a lot on. Like, I really dug into that guy today to try and get some powder out of there. So I actually think I'm gonna get through this blush before I get through this bronzer, believe it or not, because the bronzer is like more tightly pressed in there and the blush is definitely looser. So I'm excited to see what kind of progress I make on this. But like what I was saying before, whenever I run out of the face powders in this compact and I start working on the bronzers, I'm going to stop using this bronzer. But I would not be surprised if I run out of this bronzer before I get through this pink setting powder, because these do take quite a while to get through. So we'll see, but that's my prediction. So another product that I got along with this guy that's in the same kind of packaging is actually a brow powder and a brow gel. And I'm so mad at myself because I dropped it and broke it right before I sat down to film this video. I had hit pan on it a little bit in the bottom corner, but part of that was from also dropping it and a little piece of it like chipped out. So it wasn't like legitimate pan, but it was pan. But I'm upset because the powder over here had a really, really cute like quilted press into it, and now it just looks like poop. But I saved all of the product. I still want to use it. And so this is obviously the gel side. It's more like a wax, and then this is the powder side. I use the gel in my brows, and I also use it as an eyeliner sometimes because I'm so pale that if I wear, you know, like brown eyeshadow with like gold on the lid, if I do like a black liner, it just is way too starkly prominent and obvious. So I'll use this, which is like, you know, like a medium brown as an eyeliner, and it actually works pretty well. But like the lid came off and it won't stick back in there, and I broke the powder, so I've abused this little guy. I'm so sorry, but stop it. So along the vein of brow products, I have had this guy. It is the BH Cosmetics Fabulous Brow Gel in neutral, and it is not neutral at all. This is gold. Like, I really can't explain it to you. It's like a shimmery brow gel. This was the first brow gel that I ever purchased, and I was really scared to start getting into doing my brows. This was a couple years ago, where I bought one that was a lot lighter than my brows. So, I mean, this is really light, and if you can see it in the bottle, it's very shimmery. So I put my brow gel and my brow powder on from this guy, and then I go over it with this. It doesn't really lighten it up like those Benefit products that you see, where if you have lighter brows, you use the darker one. If you have darker brows, you use the lighter one. It's not really pigmented enough for that, but I've had it for a really long time, and I feel like I should probably get some use out of it and try to finish it up. So we'll see how that goes. I also have this teeny tiny little mascara that I got in a Wet n Wild pack that I got for my mom. It was like 5 or 6 mascaras for like $5 or $10. I don't remember. It had a whole bunch of them in there, but this is the one that I took from her. You'll notice a theme that I steal my mom's makeup a lot, but I give her a lot of my stuff too, so we trade. But yeah, I mean, it's just little, and I notice that I've been using it every day, so I figure if this is the mascara that I use every day, I might as well try and get through it, because I don't have that many mascaras, but I don't know, see if I can get through this. It's also little, because you know, in the theme of starting small. Another product, and this isn't necessarily small, but it's another really old one that I've had for a long time. This Ulta, the Ulta brand mattifying balm, oil control is what it says. When I purchased this, I was trying to get to a certain dollar amount in order to get one of those like free gift bags if you spend a certain amount of money. And so I bought like a bronzer, 2 highlighters, and this for whatever reason. On the back of it, or in the box it came in, it said that you could put it over your makeup, and obviously we know that you can't really put cream products over a set foundation because it's just gonna move it around. So I kind of use this as a primer. It definitely mattifies, but I don't think it really does anything as far as like, you know, making my makeup last longer throughout the day. But I have hit pan on it. I just kind of take a brush and swirl it in there, and it's really weird because it balls up on your brush when you put it in there, and then it's kind of hard to get it to stick to your face. It kind of wants to just like crumble off, but once you manage to smooth it in, it does stay and it does mattify. So I don't know, this is one of those things that I'm just kind of like forcing myself to use because I want to get through it, but I have hit pan on it, so yay me. Another thing that I took from my mom was this Almay Bright Eyes Eye Base and Concealer, and I actually broke it. I had taken, I can't really twist off the cap, but it was kind of like the LA Girl concealers where it had the brush on it, where you would squeeze it and the product would come through the brush and you would put it on. But I saw a video where someone like pulled the brush part out so they could like squeeze it out of there and just like take a brush and put it on themselves. I did that. I took the brush part out, and whenever I was squeezing it, trying to get the product out of there, like I broke it. So it does like kind of stick down in there so I can keep it somewhat sanitary. But what I've been doing is taking a brush and putting it down in the tube to try and use it up. So I don't have that much left to go. I've been working on this for, you know, a little while, and probably a few more applications and that'll be done. This is also really, really old. My mom went through her makeup drawer and decluttered a lot of her older stuff that she didn't use, and she doesn't really use concealer, so she gave this to me, and now I'm using it because I broke it. Sorry. I break a lot of things if you haven't noticed. Another product in a tube I'm trying to get through is also from Ulta, and I got it in that gift bag whenever I spent a certain amount of money. This is the Ulta Beauty Nude Matte Eyeshadow Primer, and I have quite a bit left. This is all pretty full still. The only thing with this though is this is very, very neutral. The foundation that I use has a very yellow undertone, and this, when I put it on, is almost gray. So I put it on and I set it with my face powder, and it does kind of bring the color back to, you know, what I need it to be, where it's not so obvious. But this is another thing I've had for a couple of years. I need to get through it. And so I'm just forcing myself to use it. I even went and got one of those toothpaste squidgers so I could get every little bit out. And it's really funny because of how big the squeezer is compared to the bottle, but you know. Face powders that I would like to get through. I've had this palette from BH Cosmetics for a long time. It's the Contour and Blush, the first one. There's also a second one. And I do have that. I just found it at Burlington, but I've been focusing on this one. So this pan here was a white powder that I would use when I would do drag, or if I would want to like a really, really bright under eye. But what I ended up doing is there was only like a ring left of it, so I pressed it into a smaller compact that I had, so I still have some of that white left. But the ones that I want to focus on are these two powders. I use them as like a face powder. This one is definitely like a beige that you can use as a setting powder, no problem. This one is really, really pink. I've used it quite a bit. As you can tell, you can see the rings of the pan, and there's even a little bit of pan showing. But my undertones are actually really, really pink. I'm like Porky Pig, basically. I'm really pink. But if I use this, I make sure, whoops, I just threw the blush out of there. Whoops. If I use it, I make sure that I go in with a lot of bronzer and try and change the color of it to where it really matches, because I have to take my foundation all the way down my neck every single day as it is. But yeah, so I want to get through both of those face powders, which I think won't be a problem at all. Also, this blush here is super beautiful. I can't really use this one because it's not really for my complexion. And for a long time I told myself I wanted to pan this, but you literally take your brush and just barely tap it in there and you've got enough for one whole cheek. So it will literally take me 20 years to get through this blush. Like you can see a little bit of disturbance on the pan where I've used it a little bit, but it's not like this one where you can really scrub your brush in there and get a lot and put a lot on. I mean, you put that on and you can tell you've got blush on. Another little teeny tiny product that I have that I would like to get through. This came in an Ipsy bag, and I've since canceled Ipsy because I don't know, I wasn't super impressed with the products that they were sending me, and I know that you can change it to where they'll send you stuff that suits you better based on what you like, but I mean, they would only give you samples, and I ended up with, I mean, just a whole drawer of samples. So now I subscribe to BoxyCharm, where you get, you know, full-size products and brushes and lashes and things like that. So I've only gotten 2 boxes so far, and I've been pretty impressed with them. But anyways, so I got a sample of the Mary Luminizer from the Balm, and I would like to use up this little highlighter, you know, with the theme of starting small. So I think that that might be doable. I've got this on my cheeks, my nose, my lip, my chin. I've even got it on my eyelids because I went a little overboard with my eyeshadow today. So I was trying to lighten it up, so I've got this everywhere. So I'm excited to see how this goes. So my last product is actually really hilarious, and let me tell you why. So it's an eyeshadow palette. I got it from Marshalls, and it's by Sleek. I got a Marshalls credit card and went just absolutely crazy with it. I would go to Marshalls, and if I would find something that was like a prestigious makeup brand, I would just grab it, like without even looking at it. So this little palette came with a mascara and an eyeliner, I think. And so I figured, you know, this probably has, it was like 5 eyeshadows. It was like a, you know, a quint or a quad or whatever. But when I got home and opened it up, I busted out laughing because look at this. It's so small. Like, I went and showed my mom. I was like, Mom, look at how ridiculous that is. So just to give you an example, I pulled these out of my collection. So this is a standard size ColourPop eyeshadow that I also got from Ipsy. And then this is another eyeshadow that I got from Ipsy. It is Elizabeth Mott in Gunmetal. So you can see that's a tinier pan than a normal one, and I thought that was small when I got it. But when you look at these, do you see how little those pans are? Like I couldn't even fit my pinky in there to get shadow out of there. They're so small, and it's so funny. But I figure if I'm gonna pan a palette, I should start small, and you can't get much smaller than this. So it's the Sleek Eyeshadow Palette in Beautiful Sin 578. And I just hit pan on this shadow as I was doing my makeup before I sat down to film this. So there's only 3 matte shadows in this entire palette. There's this one, and this one. This is like a cool tone brown, and this is a black. And so everything else is a shimmer, and a lot of them are really, really wearable colors. Like this entire top row is all like nudes and like a magenta kind of color. This is like a dark brown, but then this is like a light blue, a dark green, and like a dark blue. And those really aren't colors that I would wear to work. A lot of times I just wear, you know, like brown and gold boring. And I only have like, you know, 15-20 minutes to put my whole face on. I spent a really long time on my face today, and I went a little overboard, but I'm not mad at it. Anyway, so I've got to come up with some creative ways to get through these guys right here. I know that for sure. This one I'm going to use as like a smoky liner, which I did today. But when I run out of the matte shadows in this palette, which I know I'm going to before I run out of any of the shimmers, I am going to pick another palette to focus on. And I'll try and get one that's got a majority of matte colors. And I have so many neutral palettes of just boring old browns. So I'm sure I'll find something. But when we get to that point, I will definitely do another video showing my progress, and I will show the other products that I am, you know, circulating into this, because I know I'm going to be out of the concealer probably by the next check-in, and I'll definitely be out of the yellow face powder by next check-in, and I know that I will be out of this brown shade by next check-in. Also, I guess I should say that I really don't have a deadline for when I want to finish these products by. I know there's a lot of project pans where it's like, you know, finish 18 in 2018 or finish 4 before spring or summer or whatever, but we're already well into summer. Like I said, it's been 105 degrees every single day. And I don't wear makeup every day to work. I try to. It just depends on what I'm feeling that day. But yeah, we'll see where I'm at by the end of the year, because this is already July. So we've got 5 more months in the year. I had to stop and count that. This is already July, so we've got 5 more months in the year. And we will see what I can get through. And then, you know, whenever the new year rolls around, maybe I'll start one for the beginning of the year. But yeah, so that's my video. Thank you again, Amber, for encouraging me to bring my channel back, because I do miss filming, and I do enjoy it. So thank you. Also, thank you for your tips and tricks project pan video. I love your motherly warmth, and I love that you are so supportive and you let people know that it's okay to fail and you're gonna have hard days, and that you really need to rely on your community and your friends in order to help lift you up and things like that, because I think that's very important. So thank you. This video is dedicated to you. So that's it for this one. Today is the 2nd of July. So I am going to film my next video on the 1st of August. So we will see where I'm at. I'm excited. But I guess I need to take some pictures of this stuff too, so I can put photos in this video, and I can put them in the next video as well. So thank you for watching if you did. Bye!